Hey everybody, it's Steve Knight.
Hi, and I'm Michael Washkevich.
Yeah, and he is here. Everybody in the industry locally knows this guy, except me.
We're going to fix that.
We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. It's coming at you right now on the night shift. Well, we were talking before we even started rolling here, Mike, and we'll start with this. Complete the sentence. I am a what in relation to the music industry here in Central PA?
Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Music production, mixing, mastering. I'm a musician. I perform a couple bands. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time to hang out with us. I know we've been trying to coordinate this and schedules and all of that is difficult. And honestly, man, one of the big reasons that I wanted to have you on was as in the year of now doing this and doing this podcast, your name just keeps coming up. You're like the whack-a-mole of the podcast. People come on because a lot of people have worked with you. Or use you as a sounding board in some cases, as a kind of a filter or a funnel for some of their creative ideas they'd like to run through you. So your reputation precedes you. Everybody speaks really, really highly of you. How did you go from, being just a musician to getting more on the production end or side of things?
Yeah, I got inspired to pursue recording when I was in high school. I got my first little 4-track cassette recorder that I used to make demos of songs I was working on, and I was always just striving to make them better, and then I would be working with other local bands and friends and helping them do recordings, and they were awful by today's standards,
right.
But certainly working with what I had, I was just really inspired to want to take music production to the next level beyond just my inexpensive, demo gear. And when it came time to figure out where I wanted to go to school, I wanted to pursue study of production and recording. Back then, there were way fewer options than there are today. Like today, feels like there's a school teaching music production, in every city in America or every town, really.
Right.
But it wasn't that way then. I grew up in South Jersey.
Okay.
And I found the school, Lebanon Valley College, out in central Pennsylvania. And
We're fortunate. That's how you wound up here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and they had a very unique recording program. And I went out to check it out, and I was very impressed, and that's kind of the path I took. And then I never left central Pennsylvania, so
right.
I kind of went to school there and hung out. And I started making records right out of school. I did a lot of work with current co-worker, longtime friend of mine, Jason Dreyer, who I went to school with. We made records together a lot. We played together in a band called Nowhere Quick. So playing in the band introduced me to a whole lot of people that were around making music. And at the same time, we would talk to these people. They were friends or just around playing with us, and we would, let them know what we were doing, and next thing you know, we're making records with them. And I just kept doing that over and over again, and then eventually, Jason and I were like, if we're going to make any money at this, we need to make records separately.
Right.
So we parted ways working together.
There's always that part. Yeah, this is really, but at some point in time, maybe we ought to make a little money.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed working together,
Sure.
but it's like after a while, it's like, we got to make some money at this too. So that's what we did. We went our separate ways from production standpoint. Obviously, we're still very good friends to this day. But we were both making records, and I started putting together a space at home with an ex of mine. She had gotten some money from her mother passing away. She was I was in radio at the time. She was in radio. She was doing voiceover work. So we got together a bunch of gear for her to do voiceover stuff.
Got it.
And then that translated into me turning that into a production space, and then eventually it's built into the thing that it is today.
Yeah, right. So going back to growing up in South Jersey and being in high school, I mean, obviously you started out as a musician. What would you, because, you know, I asked around about you.
Okay.
I did a little. I try not to do too much homework, try to kind of wing it, but I did, and from what I can gather, you, and again, these are friends of yours and other people talking, say that, you know, have high praise for you as a multi-instrumentalist. But what did you start out playing? What was your passion?
I wanted to play guitar to start. I failed a couple times over, and then in elementary school in 5th grade, they offered the students an opportunity to take on a music instrument so that you could join the middle school band. Like, we'll start you a year early so that you can build up some skills. So when you show up to middle school, you can actually get in the band and have some background to be able to start participating. So I was like, oh, I can do drums? Like, that's a thing? And drums meant practice pad, the snare drum, you know, but it got me started, you know, and thinking about it seriously and really digging in. And then in middle school, I had a teacher that, you know, kind of helped me, like, oh, you can sit at the, it was like the first time I sat at a drum kit, and I just immediately started playing, because I would at home with a drum pad and on the floor, and like I knew what a drum kit was and I knew what to do, but I never really had one.
Never had one,
And and I showed up and I started playing, and he was like, "What is happening right now? You've never done this before."
Instead of a paperback, this is a snare.
So instead of a pillow, I have pots and pans. I get to hit a drum. So that got me started on drums, and then friends I was hanging out with back then had guitars. And one of I had an electric guitar from one of my failed attempts at playing guitar. So they were playing guitars, and then I was like, well, I have one. And then we would hang out and show each other things and kind of get started. And that's what kind of got me going down that road. And eventually I started studying guitar seriously, but that kind of got me started playing guitar. And those were really my primary instruments, would be guitar and drums. And albeit nowadays it's more guitar than anything. I don't really do drums with anybody so much, so to speak, anymore. I'm behind a drum kit a lot to record them, you know, to tune them and set them up and such. But yeah, I don't play drums a ton anymore. But I did for a long time, you know, in bands and such,
Do you think that helps... because, as you know, not all guys that are on the production side of things, a lot are, well versed in different instruments. But do you think having that kind of guitar / also drumming background helps you on the production end? Yeah,
absolutely.
Because you can relate to what.
Yeah,
you speak the same language.
There are producers out there who are not musicians,
right?
You know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Clearly, like you say, you look at like a Rick Rubin who can't play anything.
Right.
You can't argue with the guy's track record, right?
Exactly.
You know, Rick Rubin almost plays more of like an executive producer kind of position. You know, like I'll oversee everything, but
thumbs up or thumbs down. Basically.
I'm kind of in the distance, say yay or nay, but the technical nitty gritty of the record, that's not Rick's thing, right? Whereas I very much love that part of it and embrace it. And if I'm going to be sitting there with an artist and they're playing something on guitar, I know that as a guitarist, I'm of way more assistance to another guitarist sitting there than I am had I not those skills. Be it, hey, why don't you play this here instead of there? Or why don't we try maybe a line right here? Or, you know what, that tone's not working for this. And, you know, so I'm very, very hands-on, you know, tracking guitars, because I know what it means to sit in that seat, and I get it, you know, and I can envision the results and how things will come together. So it really helps me steer things.
Yeah, well, and I've talked to a number of artists who more or less, you know, have kind of told me the same thing, that they not only value you on the technical end and being on the knobs and tuning drums and getting things set up, but they seem to really value your feedback on the production side of things as well. So I'm curious, because you've worked with so many different artists and bands. I mean, how does that conversation always go? Is it does the artist drive the conversation and you're just there to go, but maybe we should try this? Or do you drive that conversation more and say, hey, I think that this is the direction. I see the seed of what you've got, but let me micify it a little bit.
Yeah.
Does it depend
So,
on
I-
situation?
Yeah, I teach music production now, and one of the first things I talk about is, like, what is a record producer? What is the job? And I've always defined it as, a record producer is the person who is responsible for getting the project to the finish line, and whatever is involved in making that happen is different for every project. So it could be a matter of get out of the artist's way and just make sure everything's happening, and it could be that's not working, we need to and jump in and really intercede. If things are working and everything's great, I'm not gonna stop it. I'm not gonna get in the way. I'm not gonna, I don't ever feel like I have to put an imprint on any project. If the artist has got it figured out, I'm not gonna stop it. That's great. Sounds like everything's working good.
Yeah. What, because by nature you've had to work also with artists from all different genres, but what do you listen to? What are your influences? What give me what's on your mix.
Sure. I mean, growing up, I was, and my introduction to MTV in 1981, when it first came on air, really that just opened my world up to music. So I listened to a lot of pop growing up, because MTV was on all the time, and it was chock full of pop, right?
Well, I'm a sucker for 80s pop, buddy.
Oh,
we could go on and on.
I love it all.
Yeah, me too.
Play name that tune right now. I'm sure we would both perform pretty strongly.
Yes, yeah.
But as time went on and I began playing drums and I began playing guitar, my focus changed over a little bit more to that which were very drum and guitar forward and focused. Very proficient musicians.
Right.
Those were the folks that inspired me to listen, because they inspired me to play. And so everything from, say, like Al Di Meola and Michael Hedges were really big for me from the guitar side of things. Those guys had such unique approaches to the instrument and such personal voices that were just unlike anybody else.
Right.
And it just really connected with me. I mean, it's not like they're the only players with unique voices, but those voices really did connect with me. On the drumming side, I was way into Dream Theater as a kid, prog metal. Yeah, I was all about it.
Like Portnoy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great player. Unbelievable. Yeah. Goes without saying.
Yeah, sure.
Savant drum player. Yeah, drummer.
Pile up the prog stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved all that stuff. Tool is always a huge influence on me. The Enema record is probably one of my number one by far.
Yeah.
I so adore that record.
Yeah.
I have those influences, but on the other hand, I love amazing songwriting, great vocalists. Jeff Buckley is one of my favorites. Like, I still listen to that Grace record, and I'm just my mind is blown by that guy.
I'm getting that you have some definite jazz influences.
Yeah. As for where I come from the jazz side, clearly Di Meola came from the fusion side. So I'm definitely very inspired by the fusion stuff more so than the jazz, albeit, I love Miles and Coltrane, and I certainly love some of the more classic jazz, but the fusion stuff definitely really connected with me.
Yeah.
Chicoria, Return to Forever. I listen to stuff all day long. I love it.
I wake up every day and I'm just grateful to be a music fan. And to your point, I didn't really listen to Miles Davis till about 10 years ago. And then it was like, Wow.
How amazing is
what a
it to have
treasure
that kind
trove.
of musical discovery at that age?
Yeah,
You know,
and
like,
what's
that's
cool
awesome.
about it is that it was all new to me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, I've got this, something that I could really
Look at this world I can delve
dive
into and just discover all this new
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm still doing that to this day. I feel like I'm still, coming up with new pathways down into the coal mine. You know what I mean? And discovering things, and some I like and some I don't. But that's why I love these kind of conversations too, because I like to talk to people that are also fans of music and listen about what inspires them and what they really like. So I want to talk specifically, and this, I've told this story on this podcast before when we had our mutual friend Brian Seneca on, and you produced and engineered his record from last fall, about a year
which
ago.
has yet to come out. So.
Yeah,
nobody's heard it yet. But
yeah, right.
It's yet to come out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I've heard a lot of the production on, and I mean, it's top notch. It really is.
Thank you.
It really is. And I hope you get that feedback from a lot of people. And I've listened to some of the other work that you've done with local artists, whether it's Joy to the Berg, but I'm always, and please take this as a compliment, but I'm always really amazed at the level of engineering, the sound. I mean, your records sound good, if that makes sense.
Sure, it's the idea.
Yeah, right.
we hope we get there. Yeah.
So what's the secret sauce to all of that? What makes you the guy? Humbly, I know it's hard to talk about yourself.
Fair,
Yeah.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
I think people like working with me because I try very hard to make it as easy as possible on the artist. At the end of the day, music production is like a service job, and if I get in their way, I'm messing up. They want to come to me, make their music, do their thing, make their statement, and have the technical stuff kind of taken care of, and know that things are coming together quickly, easily, sounding good, and they don't have to stress about it, and they can just put their trust in me. I think that's part of why people come back over and over again. I see my biggest successes when someone finishes something and then they come back to make the next project with me. Clearly
Yeah, sure.
I did something very right that they want to come back again.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I just kind of make it easy for them. And people say that all the time. They do verbalize that to me, so I know, and like, okay, all right, I kind of got it.
Yeah.
They just came in and just going through it, and we knock it out, and I don't belabor, and I try not to. I mean, if it needs to be belabored, we will.
Right.
If I think it's worth digging in at a certain spot, we will.
Yeah.
But I try very hard to just make it easy.
Yeah. And it's MDW Productions. Where do we find you?
MDWproductions.com.
Okay.
I'm online there. Social media under Michael Washkevich.
Sure.
MDW Productions HBG on Instagram.
Okay.
Call me.
I know. It's interesting because from you and I just trying to coordinate schedules. I mean, you're thankfully a pretty busy guy. It seems like you've got stuff going on a lot, and I hear from people, I'm going over to work with Washkevich on this, and so it seems like you
I
keep
stay
busy.
very busy. Fortunately, people keep calling to want to make records. I keep calling to want to perform, and so performances keep me busy as well.
Yeah. Talk about your day job a little bit.
Okay.
And so you'd sent me a link. Forgive me, the name escapes me right now, but it's very unique what you do.
Yeah. The company I work for is called SK Mac.
Yeah.
We're a manufacturer's representative firm.
Yeah.
Who represents a bunch of different companies that are in pro AV industry. So a lot of audio products, certainly some video products as well. Shure Microphones has been our anchor line, and SK Mac celebrating a 100-year anniversary this coming year, and Shure is actually celebrating their 100-year anniversary this year. So
you walk into any radio station in America, and there are Shure microphones there.
Any stage in America. There's a couple right behind you, right there on the stands. We were representing Shure as of, I think, 1932.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So we were there very, very early, when Shure was more focused on radio parts than they were on microphones. And we've been there with them for that whole ride.
Yeah.
But we represent a variety of different companies. It's not just Shure. I mean, we do Chauvet lighting. We do EAW loudspeakers, Allen and Heath, which does mixers. Bose Professional. I'm going to forget to name some names, so I apologize ahead of time. But Gator cases, you know. And then we even stretch out DOS Audio. We stretch out into other unique products that are perhaps their company is getting started and getting moving, and we think they have some really unique things to offer to our customers. Say, for example, like we picked up this line called Clear Motion Glass, which is out of York, Pennsylvania, and it's like they make like that privacy glass, you know, like the Teslas when you press a button and it goes like, so they do that, but they'll also do it where it'll show video on the glass.
Whoa.
And then they have where to be like film you can put on the glass, like on pre-existing glass. So, I mean, we found a company like that. It was like, that stuff is crazy. You know, like, so we try to, you know, get on the front end of technology and represent people I think are, you know, really have something interesting to bring to the market. So.
And where can we find?
We represent these companies, and what that means from
a marketing standpoint, to a degree?
From a sales standpoint, when it comes down to it, overall, yes, it's sales, but sales, it's going to get caught up in service to a degree, you know, a little bit of marketing, but certainly service and sales. You know, we need to keep business moving through the territory, so whatever that means, dealer events, this thing is broken, help me fix it, the shipment got messed up, to educating our dealer base on new products, doing demos for them, like, hey, I think that such and such you have from this manufacturer would be really good on this job. Do you have one on hand you could bring by to show it to us, that, you know, so we could see if it'll work for this particular job. So I mean, my customers are music retailers, so I go into traditional music MI shops that sell guitars and drums and pro audio gear. I go to see production companies who put on concert events, and then we also see system integrators who are folks that will outfit a school or a church with a sound system or a corporate building or whatever. So so a wide variety of people use the products we sell, and we need to service them all.
That's fascinating to me. I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm thinking, man, I thought I had a cool job. Why did I get into that? I mean, that's got to be a really evolving, changing, and interesting line of work.
It is definitely evolving and changing all the time. Anytime it feels like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, like life is on repeat. It will just off ramp real quick.
Let's talk a little bit about your history of just playing out in bands. Very Fine Gentlemen. You know, talk a little bit about that project and how that evolved. And I know there's some that know you from that and fans of that band. So I play guitar in the Very Fine Gentlemen. And my guitar rig for that band is pretty unique because it's got a standard electric guitar rig, but I also use a guitar synth in that. So, you know, people are watching me play, and next thing you know, I'm playing piano or I'm playing synth or something, but it's on guitar. So that from just a visual standpoint, you know, kind of stands out a little bit around here. Not a whole lot of folks doing that. But so I play guitar in that band. Every other guy in the band used to be in a band that was pretty popular in the area for a long time, a swing band called Big Tub of Mista. So every other guy in the band was in that band at some point.
John, who was the lead singer in Big Tub of Mista, is the bass player and very fine gentleman. And all these guys in the band are, I don't have any kids, but everybody else in the band does. And all their kids are getting older to like college or high school, and they don't have to be home as much. And so their schedules opened up. So all of that pent-up energy of like, I want to get out and play was really brewing in several of these guys. They really wanted to get involved in something, do something again. And they didn't want to do, a cover thing. They wanted to like, let's make art. Let's make some music together. Like, that is ours. So John approached Jim, who's our drummer. They played together in Big Tub of Mista. And I didn't really know John all that well. I mean, I kind of knew him from back in the day, but we just never really, we just never really connected on any bigger kind of level. And Jim said, I know our guitarist, and then he recommended me, and John came over and he saw what I did. And he was like, yeah, man, that works, And this band, we have trumpet and sax in the band with Matt and Mikey, and Matt plays keys as well. So between him playing keys, me playing guitar and synth, and then of course the sax there, it's instrumentation I'd not ever really written for before, and we're all instrumental. So it was just this, I don't know, it's kind of like a weird direction to go in that just kind of threw me for a loop. Like, this is not at all something I would have ever done or written for before, and I appreciated that.
But you're having a good time.
I am. It made me do something outside my wheelhouse, and that was really fun about it. And everybody in the band, we're not in our 20s anymore. So we don't have rock star dreams. We're not looking to make a career out of it, but we are looking to make art. And everybody's very similar minded in that respect. Like, we want to make art and we want to go out and perform because we love to perform, but we also want to do it at the frequency that we're excited to do it when we do it. Like, we don't want to play every weekend because then it starts to feel like a job. We want to play enough so that we're excited and that the audience is excited to see us too. So we love to write, we love to record, and we try to release music pretty regularly. And go out and perform these songs for folks because we are so unique as a band, instrumental. We're not for every event, we're not for everybody, and we don't want to go out and play for 3 hours because who wants to watch an instrumental original band play for? We're not for everything in every situation. So opportunities that fit us don't exactly come around a ton either. But when they do, we're into it, and we love it. We have a very good time doing it. So,
and I'm assuming we can find you on all the social medias.
Yeah, we had a website, which is veryfinegentleman.com, I think.
Okay.
I think I got that
just
domain
Very
right.
Fine Gentleman in your Google search bar.
Yeah, we're on Facebook and all the social stuff.
Yeah. I'll have to come check you guys out.
Yeah, please.
I'm intrigued. I'd love to come see a show.
Yeah, we are playing. I don't know when. Do you know when this is going to air?
This will be airing, before December 5th.
Tomorrow, that fast.
Tomorrow.
Okay. So we are playing a one-off thing.
First week of December, this is going to be airing.
Yeah, we're playing at the Englewood this Saturday, which is the 6th.
The 6th.
Yeah.
This will be out by then.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's a one-off show where we're kind of doing covers, which is a tribute thing. We've got Bryce
I have
Connor.
to work Saturday night, so I can't come. Not that you needed me to be there.
Fair enough. Yeah, Bryce Connor sitting in with us from the Jelly Bricks. I don't know if you know Bryce.
Yeah.
And Kristen Beeman is sitting in with us from Fully Stocked. So it's a tribute show. This gentleman who passed a few years ago has got a ton of friends. And
I heard, I saw about. I saw the event pop up.
So we are literally we're playing a set of songs that are favorites of the gentleman that had passed.
Sweet.
So that's what everybody's doing the whole night, just playing songs that were favorites of this guy.
Sorry, where is that at again?
The Englewood.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's Jeff Carley off camera.
Yeah.
The chief cook and bottle washer of moving audio imagery.
Opportunity to say, I want to shoot video of you.
All right.
Well, that also leads me into and really I mean, I'm so, you and I had gone back and forth a few times trying to find a date that worked so that you could sit with me, and thank you. Thanks again for making the time. But I was really stoked that we were able to get this date because I wanted to talk to you about this. You talk about organic things that come together. I want to talk to you about Van Wirsing.
Okay.
And we're just a couple of days away. This is going to make air this week. So you got a busy weekend coming up because Friday night you're going to be at XL Live. Third gig, I believe, with Van Wirsing.
Technically, our first public gig where we're playing a full set.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But yes, you're right. It's the third time where we were
you've
playing
been
in
billed
public.
as Van Wirsing.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. So, for those that don't know, Van Wirsing is a Van Halen tribute band that came together rather organically. I know that the name of the band, Wirsing, comes from Eric Wirsing, who's the guitar player, who's also the guitar player in Solar Federation. So, how did this happen?
So, Fedge, the drummer in Solar Federation, has he been on your podcast?
He has, yes.
Okay. All right,
He sat in that very same seat. He's been in the hot seat.
Yeah, Fedge, one of my best friends. I
Yeah.
love Fedge. He throws this massive party at his house every year called Fedge July. And every year he looks to try to do something kind of creative, and there's musical events playing the whole time. So he brings out production and bands play all day long. So Friday evening and all day Saturday. And every year he tries to do something unique. There's Growly. Just showing Growly.
Oh,
off camera.
yeah.
That's
There. Yeah, there you go.
Growly. There's
Growly,
a massive blow-up gorilla on the side of the property every year. It is in Annville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So every year he tries to come up with some creative thing to do musically. For years, a cover band we played in together called Brazilian Wax did like reunion sets at the end of the night, and we headlined it. And we did enough of those headlining slots. It's time for us to move on from doing that. So he had an idea of maybe like, oh, why don't we put together like a Pink Floyd tribute? Wouldn't that be fun? And like our buddy Joey was going to come out. It was going to be a blast. I never got to play on stage with Joey. I was like, yes, let's do that. And then it turned out Joey couldn't commit. And then he was trying to figure out, all right, what are we going to do? And he's like, I got an idea. How about a Van Halen tribute? Because Eddie is Eric's hero. Like he was so highly inspired by Eddie,
right.
And he's got all those licks like in the toolbox. Like he knows that guy inside and out.
I know, it's amazing. He's amazing. Eric's just an amazing player.
Yeah. He's a crazy good player.
Yeah.
And hey, we thought this would be a whole lot of fun. And obviously your friend Glenn Hamilton is good friends with all of us. We were aware of his talents and thought, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we had Glenn sing for this?
Right.
And we asked him if he was in, and then we ran this rehearsal, and like the moment he opened his mouth, we're all like, oh yeah, this could be just fine.
Yeah.
This could be great.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't really know how is he going to sound doing Dave?
Right.
And as soon as he opened his mouth, it was like, he sounds awesome doing Dave.
Yeah.
He really killed it. So we thought it'd be a whole lot of fun to get together and do this. So we did it for what was essentially a backyard party. Lots of folks like Jeff were there videotaping, lots of folks there seeing it. So it had a good bit of eyes on it and people talking about it.
I shared it immediately, and I was telling everybody. I was sending it. My older brother and my cousin. My brother lives in California. My cousin lives in Oklahoma, and we're in that same wheelhouse age. I mean, we all worship at the altar of Van Halen, and we like all Van Halen, but specifically a lot of the Dave stuff. And oh my God, as soon as those videos started getting out on YouTube, I was sharing with everybody, like, you gotta watch this. This is so freaking cool, man. These guys nail it, and you did. Wow.
Yeah. So
And you play bass, which is
I
interesting.
play bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was not. I never played bass in a band before, really. But
Really?
no, I hadn't. But I mean, it was a pretty easy thing to jump into, especially
Yeah.
for this gig. You know,
Right.
it was not as hard as like, hey, jumping in and play Eddie's parts. You know,
Yeah, right.
Michael Anthony's
right.
a lot more
You
manageable.
we're doing a Primus tribute either.
Yeah, exactly.
right,
This is not a Primus tribute.
Right.
Yeah. So anyhow, we were rehearsing in my studio, which is a blast to rehearse at in my studio because we can record everything.
Yeah.
Which is very, very helpful. So we were running our rehearsal for the Feds of July set, and Julie, Eric's wife, is there, you know, running her phone around, videotaping
Yeah.
us, and then we just paired up the video with the audio and put it out online and let people know, like, hey, check this out, what we're doing. So fast forward, Glenn is on the air on the river with Bret Michaels. He's in town, and you know they're just shooting the breeze in between, I guess, you know, segments on the air. And Bret expressed to him what an influence Van Halen was on Poison back in the day, because you know they were obviously, you know, on the heels
Influence
of
on all of us, yeah.
You know, Van Halen built the house, and Poison got to move in and enjoy it.
All,
You know,
almost all the '80s bands, but yeah,
yeah.
sure,
So, and having said that, Glenn says to him, like, "Hey, you might get a kick out of this. Look at this thing I'm doing," and shows him the video on his phone. And Bret just flipped out about it. He was just like, "Why? I can't believe this. This is crazy. This is so good." And he was like texting it off to the guys in his band, and then proceeded to talk to Glenn at length about it via text for like the next day or so. Like, he just kept contacting him about it. And he said, "Hey, I want to have you out at my gig when I come to town back in Sunbury." And, you know, Glenn told me that, and I'm just like, yeah, I know a lot of people say things. Like,
Yeah, right.
It's a fun thing to say.
Right.
You know, it's not going to happen.
Right.
You know, so meanwhile, the date that we had, that we knew he was coming to play and he was going to have us come up.
kept getting closer and closer.
Yeah, kept getting closer, and we haven't heard a thing.
Yeah.
You know. Meanwhile, I had plans made. I had to cancel those. I had other plans made. I had to cancel those. I had a third plan made, and then I get a text the day before, like, "Hey, this is happening. You need to be here at this time." What?
Yeah.
So I had to cancel the third plans. Yeah, and we got to go up on stage in the middle of Bret Michaels' set and play "Ain't Talking About Love" and "Eruption." There's video out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It was a real blast. By far, probably the coolest second gig I've ever played with any band. If you
Right.
call it a gig. I mean, we went up and played a couple songs,
Yeah.
but like, nonetheless, it was a pretty fun opportunity. You know, I mean, I grew up watching Poison, and you know,
sure.
Owned records, and
Sure.
I was a fan.
Yeah,
You know?
sure. I was telling my brother-in-law, just telling that story and you know, about you know how that all came together, and I hadn't even stopped to think about it. Being friends with you guys, and obviously Glenn and I are very close, but I hadn't even stopped to think about it till the words came out of my mouth. I literally go, so the first gig they played was just like a backyard party, and then the second gig they played was with Bret Michaels. That makes no sense.
It doesn't make no sense at all.
We've got two gigs. We've got a backyard party, Feds of July. You know what I mean? We got a backyard bash, and then we've got with Bret Michaels.
Yeah, and our next
in
gig
front of
we're-
thousands in Sunbury, Pennsylvania.
Next gig we're headlining at XL Live.
Yes, yeah,
Really
right.
crazy.
Which
Very
leads
fine
me,
gentlemen haven't headlined at XL Live.
right.
You know?
Right, which leads me into Friday night, December 5th, a benefit event, and third quote unquote gig for Van Wirsing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so talk about what I know. There's a few different bands that are playing Friday night.
There's a
I know Jelly Bricks are playing.
Jelly Bricks
Yeah,
are
I don't
on
want to
the bill.
commit anybody, but yeah.
Swisher Sweets are on the
Okay,
bill.
yep.
You know, Amy Simpson's playing. I
Amy
believe
will
with
be
Dan
on
Kibler.
this podcast, folks, in about 2 weeks. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
It's
you.
about time.
Yeah,
Love Amy.
yeah. Same thing with her.
I perform at Amy so many times.
Yeah.
Amy's sat him, a very fine gentleman, several occasions.
Trying to coordinate schedules with her is like trying to coordinate schedules with you.
Gotcha.
She's busy. Yeah.
We were playing in a band called Stereo Glow for a short time together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Amy and I have shared the stage several times. She's
yeah.
such a great talent.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, what a singer! Yeah, she's amazing. So, well, that's good. I don't think I knew that she was. So I'm going to get to see her before she winds up in the hot seat where you're at right now. So yeah, and it's for Joy to the Berg, correct?
I think this is for Central Pennsylvania Food Bank.
Okay, Central Pennsylvania
Yeah.
Food Bank. You're right. You're
Yeah, so
right.
it's a charity event.
Right,
So.
charitable event. So come on out, folks. It's obviously that time of year, more so than ever, where we think about our friends and neighbors, and obviously the need. We all know what the need is like right now in our area food banks. So it's a charitable event. Good on you guys. I know guys are all just doing this, because 'tis the season. So very cool, man.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it.
Are we going to get 45 minutes?
It'll be more than that.
Oh,
We're going to be
okay.
upwards of an hour.
You've worked up an hour's worth of material.
Yeah.
Okay.
It continues to grow. There are songs in process which aren't even on this set yet because
Okay.
we intend to do this again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm hearing some rumors of, and Glenn and I talk a lot, as you know, and there's I think we'll leave it at that. There is an intention to do it again, and look for leaving some breadcrumbs for 2026. Yeah, so I think there's gonna be some fun stuff coming up.
Very very excited. I know it's like 2 dates already, kind
Yeah.
of about wrapped up. So
Yeah.
We're very excited.
Yeah, if you're a fan at all, folks, of Van Halen, and specifically some of the, even some of the deeper Dave stuff that doesn't necessarily.
we well,
Like I
because-
heard Mean Street, and I about lost my sugar.
I mean, well, it's like there's only so many Dave hits, and we are
Yeah.
kind of focused on the Dave era right now.
Yeah.
So we are starting to get a little bit deeper there.
Yeah.
There might be some Sammy stuff coming.
Okay.
It's not. We have not ruled out Sammy, at all. We just have not gone down that path yet. But there's only a handful of Dave records, so eventually we're gonna tap out of material.
Yeah, how about it?
Were
Were you a Van Halen guy? Were you a fan?
As much as any guitarist would be. I mean, that guy painted the pathways for everybody to just kind of come after him.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about a band with influence, there's not many that really kind of, what the Beatles maybe, in terms of like the industry just changed, music changed on their behalf. Like they really just kind of flipped everybody.
Yeah.
It just. I don't. You can't really verbalize just how important they were, right? And I also enjoy the music. Obviously, the music very much connected with me. As a guitarist, how could you not love Eddie?
Yeah.
As a drummer, how could I not love Alex, who is like, so wildly underrated as a drummer, like a brilliant drummer, as brilliant a drummer as his brother was a guitarist. But he just didn't get the credit his brother did, but he was just phenomenal.
So I put everybody, when they're here, to the test of 4 questions. There again, like it took me forever to come up with the name The Night Shift. Took me forever to come up with calling this The Final 4. Yeah. Okay. So last 4 questions. Everybody gets them, and the first one is your personal favorite band or artist. Number 1. It's tough, I know.
It's so hard because I have so many acts that I love, and to say this band is a favorite, I don't know, it feels like I'm almost putting other acts below that, so it's really hard. If I had to really put somebody up there, I have to look to where my favorite records are at. So Tool, the Beatles,
Yeah.
Geez, there's so many. Jeff
Yeah.
Buckley.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. You could have, and it does not have to be music, it could be for any walk of life. You can have lunch with one person, dead or alive. Who would it be?
It'd be my mother. Yeah. Lost her 16 years ago, so
Yeah,
get
I'm
the
sorry to hear
opportunity to. Oh, thank you. But
Yeah.
to be able to do that again would be amazing.
Yeah. I don't think you'd be surprised that we have gotten a lot of mom and dad answers to those questions, and unfortunately, it's usually due to the fact that they've passed on. So
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's all right.
What's the one song that you wish you would have written?
White Christmas. Best-selling song in all of history.
I have been waiting for someone to give me an answer along those lines, either White Christmas or Happy Birthday. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's funny because I've always so thank you. You're the first person, and I think this is the 14th or 15th episode. You're the first person to answer from the business side of things. Yeah. Boy, I wish I would have written White Christmas. It's funny. You know Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. Okay, they did those Twisted Christmas records for a while, where it was Twisted Sister's take on Christmas carols.
Yeah.
And he wrote an original, and on one of the records, and it got covered, and I feel like it was covered by like Mariah Carey, and put out on one of her. No, it was Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift covered a Dee Snider written Christmas song.
Oh, all right.
Somebody presented it to her, and she liked it, and so she covered it. And I heard him on a podcast saying, so now we have a third home in Florida, and we call it the house that Taylor built, because he had the publishing and Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah,
putting
that's going to be a massive amount
out.
of money.
Yeah,
massive
exactly.
Amount of money.
It was like a total windfall for him. So I've been waiting for somebody to answer along the lines of, well, it might not be the greatest song ever, but boy, it's the one that is a windfall of cash.
Sure, I don't never get excited to hear it, but I would love to have written it. Yes.
the gift, that's the gift that just keeps on giving. Yeah, the checks just keep coming. And then finally, and I think I know the answer, Beatles or the Stones?
Oh, Beatles. Hands down.
Hands down? You're a hands down
yeah,
guy.
I don't even think it's a fair comparison.
Really?
Beatles were just so much more important. So much more important.
Yeah.
What, no, however?
Yeah, no, however, no. We've got
Not at all.
Yeah, we've got another first, because most people usually say however.
We still live in the Beatles world. I mean, they painted the direction that this industry went, the way that music went. They forged a path, and we're all just riding that same path to this day.
Yeah.
You know, like I told you, I visit music stores as part of my job in retail. That whole industry came about from the Beatles, like building such an immense desire for every kid in America to want to be in a band. You know, like the Beatles did that. The Beatles came along as a group, like they got hired as a group of people that wrote their own songs. Like that thing just didn't happen much in the industry. Like records, the importance of records. I mean, we talked so much about records. Like I love to make records. Records are a thing because of the Beatles. Not that they were the first act that made records, but they were the first act that really made the record an experience. It wasn't just a collection of songs
collection of singles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like they
it was
were
a
like,
statement.
we're going to make a full statement. Exactly, an artistic statement.
Right.
You know, they forged that path. They made that happen. And still to this day, we are all riding on that same path.
I've been talking to your good friend Fedge, who's obviously also a huge Beatles guy. Glenn is a huge Beatles guy. So I've got some bad news for you. You're going to have to come back.
Okay.
Because we've been knocking around this idea, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it in 2026 here. Just got to coordinate the schedules. Going to have you, I'm going to have Fedge, and I'm going to have Glenn, and I'm going to have a list of 50 Beatles songs, and you guys are each going to draft a team.
Okay.
And then when it's done, you each get a draft pick, right?
Okay.
And then, so you'll each wind up with, I don't know, 15 songs or whatever, however we decide to do it. And then when it's over with, we are going to look at each teams and its strengths and weaknesses and who we think had the best draft and why.
Gosh, that sounds like Sophie's Choice.
I was just, I know how much those guys love the Beatles, and I would love to do a Beatles-centric episode for all the Beatles fans out there. You know what I mean? And really do a deep dive on the catalog and songs and why they matter. So
Yeah, like people who
Sorry, buddy, you're
people
coming
who people who don't like the Beatles, like I don't get that person at all. Like they're just being contrarians to get a rise out of people.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not seeing the importance that band has is
Right.
just, I don't know, it just doesn't
Fighting
make,
words.
Yeah, like how can you not see
Yeah.
what
Even
they-
if they're not your quote unquote cup of
yeah,
tea.
it doesn't mean they don't have to
You
connect with you,
cannot
but you have to
deny. Yeah.
yes, you have to
You
give them the
cannot
kudos that they
deny.
deserve.
Yeah, you cannot. Well, yeah, in a different
And I mean, I
way.
love the Stones,
Yeah, right. Okay, there's the however. We finally got the however. Yeah.
but there is no contest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, and sorry, I'm going to have to get you back here. I feel like we only scratched the surface, but we're going to let you go. You're a busy guy. You probably have somebody booked for your studio later today, don't you?
I have mixing to do,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Mike. I appreciate the time for coming on. And again, MDW Productions. Find it online. You got a Facebook page as well. Very fine gentleman. And look, we hope to see you Friday night, December 5th, this coming Friday night at XL Live. Come check out Van Wirsing. I'll be the middle-aged white guy standing up against the wall holding the beer while you guys are playing. So
All right.
I
I'll
should
be
be
right
pretty
there
able to-
alongside of you when everybody else is playing. So
And then Saturday night, Inglewood.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
cool.
That'd be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool. Well, thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate
Thank you for having me on
Yeah,
here. This
yeah.
was a blast.
Yeah. Thanks so much for making the time, and thanks everybody for tuning in to another edition of The Night Shift.
Nice.
That was so much
Thank you so much, man. That's great.
outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was so cool.